Hey everyone, this is Jake here from Cyber Sector, and today I'm going to be talking about OS X Lion, which came out today on the Mac App Store, and pretty much for the whole day I've been, messing around with it, finding out all its secrets. Um, just a little bit of backstory with the install and stuff. Wasn't a huge file. I think it was around 3.4 gig. Didn't take too long to download. It went pretty smoothly for me. Only required one restart. So yeah, that went quite well. But if you were following our Twitter, you're watching this now, you'll realise that it kind of destroyed Ozer's Mac, his iMac. What it did is that when he installed it and went to restart and then signed back in again, it actually deleted his user. Now, why it did that, we have no idea, but it pretty much deleted all of his stuff, all his pictures, all his movies, all his music, all his documents, everything. So obviously he called Apple support, and after about 2 hours, which delayed these videos in fact, they came to the conclusion that they would have to erase basically all of his what his Mac is basically, and install Snow Leopard again, and then upgrade back to Lion from there. Luckily he had some backups on his time machine, time capsule, so he didn't lose everything. Unfortunately, it was quite an old backup, so some stuff which he's got since then are gone. So that's pretty much what delayed these videos, because we were waiting to see if Uzair would get his Mac back online, I guess you could say. So because of that delay, we've decided we're going to couple a lot of the features that were added in Lion together into a few episodes. So I'm going to be talking about Mission Control, which is a feature which Apple have added to Lion, which is very, 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 very difficult to explain. Now, a couple of other people I've tried to explain it to have kind of had their brain leaking out of their ears because it makes no sense when I explain it. Basically, what Mission Control is that I see it as a way to streamline the way the Mac works. It introduces quite a few features which almost seem like they were taken from the iPod Touch or iPhone or iPad, and they are used very heavily in conjunction with multi-touch gestures, which is the other part of this video I'm going to be talking about. Now, for people who are asking what's a multi-touch gesture is a way you use your sort of fingers in a different way. So if you're say you're using a magic mouse, this is just an example. How would you go back on Safari? You just swipe 2 fingers across your magic mouse and it goes back. The same way as on your iPod Touch. If you pinch 2 fingers or your finger and your thumb, you will zoom onto a web page. They are multi-touch gestures. Now, Lion has tried to make this a much bigger thing, and to anyone who's used them before, like on their iPhone or anything like that, they will be very familiar to you. If you have a Magic Mouse, you're fine, you don't have to buy anything else. If you are still using the Mighty Mouse, you will not be able to use these, so I wouldn't recommend upgrading to Lion just yet. The same way, if you hate using the Magic Mouse, I wouldn't recommend Lion, because it focuses heavily around that kind of idea. So, enough from me. So let's just take a look, and I'm going to explain it to you. Now, this is the Mission Control symbol down here. if we click on this, it sort of zooms out the page a little bit, shows what's on this page, on this desktop right here. If we just click that, it will take us back in. Now, that's the simple way to do it. If we want to do it the much simpler way that I was speaking of before, all you have to do is swipe to the left with 2 fingers on the magic mouse, so like this, and that takes you to the dashboard. So a lot of you are probably saying, you know, what's so great about that? Okay, fine, they've made it a little bit faster to get to the dashboard. Well, that's not all you can use it for. So if we just go back to the main desktop. Now, what you can do is, because Apple had finally added full screen apps, and by that I mean it gets rid of this up the top, like this. So, go on Safari, open it up, alright, it's pretty normal, pretty practically the same as before. But if we look up in the right hand corner up here, there is a new symbol. Now if we click on this, it gets rid of the top bar and makes it take up the entire screen. Now you're thinking, okay, fine, full screen, that's kind of cool. But this full screen feature basically gives the app its own desktop. That's a little bit confusing, but this will help explain. So if we take 2 fingers and swipe them across the magic mouse, there we go, takes us back to the main desktop. So now you should understand that full screen apps basically give the app its own desktop, like I said. So you can just swipe back and forth. I mean, I think that's a really cool feature. I mean, it gets rid of the annoyance of having a ton of apps on one desktop at a time, having loads minimized. It's kind of annoying. But if you make some of them full screen, it gets rid of that problem completely. So if we look down here, go on Mission Control, you know, there we go, Safari up here. So if we just wanted to click that, just take us straight back. Let's go back to desktop, go, and if you want to go even faster to Mission Control, all you have to do is take 2 fingers and tap twice on the magic mouse, and it takes you straight to Mission Control. I mean, I think this is pretty good. When I heard it in the keynote speech, I didn't really think much of it, but when you properly actually play around with it on your own, you discover that it functions very, very well. So on the whole, from what I've seen of Lion so far, it pretty much seems like Apple has done it again, in the way that they've pretty much revolutionised the way things work. I get the feeling that Windows will probably try and emulate this sort of function, you know, with their own version. I mean, I'm trying not to be biased here, but generally stuff that Apple does works a lot better than things on Windows. Maybe not games and stuff like that, but when it comes to actual just things that you will use every day, on the whole, I think Apple do most of those things better. And they've proven that they can carry on doing it. They can carry on and do it because with Lion, it seems really good. I mean, of course, with the exception of Azair, which, you know, it crippled his system a little bit, and he's pretty annoyed. But I dare say that was just an isolated incident, unless we get tons of reports that people who upgrade to Lion are getting the same problem all over the world. Then maybe you can say then, like, maybe it's not worth the risk, especially if you've got a lot of important stuff and you don't want to back it up and go through the whole process if it goes wrong. I mean, that could be potentially really, really dangerous for companies, because they have important stuff. Obviously, they probably could back it up, but it could put people behind by days. But, you know, I don't really want to dwell on that. I just want to dwell on the fact that it is a good piece of software and it works perfectly. I haven't really run into any glitches particularly, except maybe sometimes a pop-up will open on a certain page and then it will suddenly disappear to one of the other desktops or pages you have open. But that's only happened a couple of times and it's not that annoying. So, you know, apart from that, I mean, the multi-touch gestures they work really, really well. They work well, and especially mission control. It may not seem like a very big thing to most people, and I must admit it didn't even seem that big to me when I first heard about it. But I think the majority of that reason is because I had no idea how it actually worked, and I didn't realize what it actually was, to be perfectly honest. And I think a lot of people suffer with that because if I said it to other people who always follow Apple things, even they had trouble actually understanding what it was. And I think it's basically a culmination of everything which works on all of their other systems, mainly with their touchscreens on iPads and iPhones and stuff like that. It seems very much like Apple are trying to sort of link all of their devices together and give them all similarities that all the devices have. So it's a lot easier for people to adapt to these new things because they've kind of gotten used to it by using a different device. And I think that is a very good direction for Apple to go in. So they are the features of mission control and multi-touch gestures so far. I have the feeling that Apple will probably introduce a lot more multi-touch gestures, maybe even let you customize your own. So if you do certain things with your fingers on the mouse in a different way, it will open an application which you want it to open. I think that would be a very welcome addition if they were to do something like that. I think it will work very well. So thanks for watching this episode, guys. The next episode I will probably be talking about Launchpad, which is not a major addition, but it changes the way the Mac works a little bit. So I'll see you next time, guys. Expect the video soon, and remember to subscribe.